Travis. I don't think your mic's working, lad. I see the thing popping up, but we don't hear you.
Can you guys hear me? There we go. Hey, I am doing a 300-day challenge where I go from a $25,000 sim rig to a real GT car. We're giving away a $4,000 gaming PC on May 1st on YouTube. If you guys want to check it out, I'll put the channel link in the chat. Let's make sure everything feels good real quick. Probably gonna stay at 540 for the wheel rotation, just as how this car is set up. Like my mirrors. If it looks a little odd to you guys in the screen share, the reason is I'm on a 49-inch monitor for my main, and then 27s for the side, so it gives the same field of view as a typical GT car. It's kind of like a projected view. But for anybody that joins, I typically don't respond to my chat until after the race because I'm not able to have it pulled up. I can, it's just like I don't want to have that distraction. So what we're going to be doing today is fighting for my next license, and you guys will get to see that, which is pretty cool. I hope you guys are all having a good Monday. We got the foot job camera in here now. My boss doesn't like that I call it that. How the hell did we get into 5th? For those of you unfamiliar with Iracing, what I'm doing right now, a typical race will have practice, and then qualifying, and then the race. But since this track takes 10 minutes to go one lap, 10 to 11 minutes, you only do qualifying and then, or just practice, and then they start the race. But while I'm here, let me check something out real quick. Yeah, I got it fixed, Max. I have no idea why. I had to cut it and then plug it back in. Honestly, dude, having these here, let me put them up to the camera. These are $600 Arctic Series Nova headphones, and for somebody that works remotely, the coolest thing about these headphones is you pull off the side and you could take out this battery, and over on my table there's an equalizer. So let's say you were on Xbox and couldn't use the SteelSeries app, you could use the equalizer, but on the equalizer charges the battery, so your headset's never dead. You always have a battery charged. So I love these, and for $600, honestly, that is crazy, crazy, crazy money for a headset, but they work really well. I was just gonna say, I wonder if the mic would be better than the mic that I'm using right now. You like looking at my feet? Aren't those pedals insane, dude? Look at that. They push back. Watch my foot. It literally throws my foot back if I push it. And then over on the brake, I'm not shaking my foot like that. The pedal's doing that because I'm pushing it down too far. Shakes my whole body. I always make the joke of, I let my wife use this for watching her Bridgerton show, and now my seat is all wet. I hold the power. Feel like and I feel it. Oh, that's perfect, dude. I love that. Max, anytime you're in here, if there's anybody bitching that I made you like second mod, Manny first mod. If there's anybody ever bitching about how I drive, just let them know I typically only drive GT3. And second, if there's anybody bitching that I don't respond, it's because I'm in a race. I had one guy like, oh, you probably can't read. Fucking asshole. Good luck, everybody. Let's have a good, clean race.
Thanks.
So stupid that this is on green. Guy just died on this track the other day. Rest in peace, bro. It sucks. Haha, dumb fuck. This is just our little warm-up race. We don't ever race these cars. We're just doing 3 laps on this. Because if we can do it properly, we'll get our new license. Also, anything that you're not driving that... So, anything you're not driving that has, like, 3 pedals... Let's say I'm driving and I don't need to use the clutch, then I can use my 2 feet to brake and gas. Even in a real car you would do this, like a real GT car. Maybe not this type, but I think with this you would do more of a heel-toe type method. I hope Iracing releases that new Mark GT, the new Ford GT that does like a 6-minute lap time on this. That car's flipping insane. That's probably the coolest car I've ever seen in my life, just so you guys don't know. If you don't know, that car that Ford made, this thing literally does a 6-minute lap time on the Nuremberg, and it's the 3rd fastest car ever, but here's the kicker. It's fully gas. No electric assist or anything. Fully gas car. And the only 2 cars that are faster than this thing are both electric. This thing is probably the coolest car I've ever seen in my life, by the way. I'm like a drummer. I keep vapes in my pocket because I drop them while I'm driving. So I have like 3 backups. Oh, I'm a bumblebee. I'm a bumblebee that likes to eat the KFC. Everybody do it with me, hit the C R. R, 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 R. And also, if you're wondering why I'm going so slow, all we're focused on is just getting through this without any license points. Everybody do it with me, hit the C line. R, 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 R. My clutch ain't engaging properly. That's why if you see me blipping the throttle a ton, I have the bite point set crazy high. Now, if we were doing a real race, you wouldn't really ever have to take it out of third. It's just that this car can be so finicky at times. This would be like heel toe, like this, if you had a clutch. We'll have some interesting racing today, you guys. If you're joining, just bear with me. We're just doing this to get my licensing up. I don't ever race these cars. I don't think I've ever raced this car on stream once. My regular people will tell you I'm a great driver when it comes to GT cars. If there's anything you want to say I'm professional at, that'd be about it. Why don't I have a clutch? That's why we're going like abnormally slow. I don't have a clutch. Everybody do it with me, hit the C line. If you're looking at my feet and wondering why they're popping like that, my gas pedal is set to so I could feel the wheel spin and the engine vibration. And then my brake pedal, I can feel the wheel lock up and my threshold for braking. And then my butt kickers, I can feel the car moving like this. I think I forgot to open SimHub, that's why I'm not shaking. Which is no biggie. It's crazy we're driving so slow and we're in 11th. I think there's 25 cars, if not more. Somebody wanted me to talk about this line a little bit yesterday. You do not want this line on if you want to get faster, and here's why. This is just a reference line. In iRacing, the cars are so realistic that your tire wear, depending on what type of car you're driving, that all matters. And this is just a reference line. Like, in actual racing, this line can change. So right here is probably faster than it would be over here, where it's all, like on my screen, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's smoother parts of the track. So in GT cars especially, you're changing the side of the road all the time, and you want to go based off of like how the car feels. And one more lap, baby. You want to go off of how the car feels, because if you're only following this line, you're never going to get faster. You need to be looking at your apex, and also practicing the map a bunch will make you faster. The only reason I do keep the line on is, I don't know if you guys can tell, I lose my train of thought very, 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 very easily while I'm streaming. And it's just something for me to reference. With this map being the biggest racetrack in the world, I don't have this mastered yet. I could do it in a GT car with no line, but it's just something nice to have. But it's just another tool. You don't want to rely on it, because if your plan is to get faster in real life or have a true simulator, you're not going to have something like this. You might have spotters, and what you really should be doing is drive this with your qualifying and practice lap, and then shut it off. Drive it during practice, qualify without it, and keep it off. It just takes practice, practice, practice. Like, it used to take me hours to learn a map. Hours. And now I can learn a map in about 10 minutes. But, like, even in a league, I've raced early league, and the one league that I'm on doesn't have lines. And when I first started, we raced this map, and the guys were all getting so pissed at me because I kept braking where the line was showing. And they're like, dude, those aren't the brake points. What are you doing? And I told them, like, yo, I was racing off the line. And the problem with this is it just shows red. It doesn't show you how much to push the brake down, how far you, like, if you don't practice a map, don't drive it, because you're going to ruin somebody else's race, and you're never going to get better. We will probably have our new license after this race. So that'll be super, super, super cool. Max, I got something I gotta talk to you about after this. Jesus. My butt kicker randomly turned on. There we go, it's off. Oh, that was driving me nuts. Literally popping up and down. I think that's where that dude died. That guy that was just in the thing that pissed me off so bad is you can't even find a ton of coverage about it. Instead, they're over here talking about Max Verstappen's Nuremberg race, and I'm like, dude, pay your respects. Like, this guy fucking died. That's more important than Max racing GT. Talking about Max Verstappen. A guy died on this track, and all they could talk about is how Max Verstappen is racing. And I'm like, dude, why aren't we giving any coverage to the guy who fucking died? Thank you. We're not doing half bad for never driving this thing before. You know what I'm starting to find out? But actually, we are doing kind of bad because I don't even have a clutch. So this thing would probably be much harder if you have to rev match. But I took a lesson and learned how to drive much better manual, where I learned this technique. If you look at my pedals, I just don't have my clutch on. I have 3 of these pedals that you see under my desk. I'm just waiting on an extender plate so I can put the 3rd one on. But when you go to brake, you have to put your heel on the brake and hit the gas like that, so you blip it. A lot of you guys are probably like, oh, how did you never know that? I grew up without a dad, and I grew up with all women. I didn't know jack shit about manual transmission until I started driving. Got 9th place. Not too shabby.
Great job, driver.
Out of what, though? Where did we finish? Out of 17. So that ain't bad. Or out of 20. See what you guys are up to. What's going on, Brian? What's going on, Benji? Stevie, what's up, everybody? You don't need to comment PC. You just need to come in here and comment anything. LOL. Yeah, I don't ever race these. I only race GT cars typically. And if I'm a pro at anything, it would be GT cars. That's about it. I've put just about probably, I don't know how many hours. Let's just say every day for the last 6 months, for about 6 to 8 hours a day. We need 4 more points. Are you kidding me? 4 more points and we get our fucking license. What's the next race starting? Any race will give me 4 points. Damn it. 4 points, everybody. We just need 4. Everybody do it with me, hit the C line. Art, bam. But yeah, if you have your clutch on, your clutch would be right here. This is how you would drive in real life. So you'd have your clutch, and then let's pretend my foot's still there. You'd bring your foot over to brake, and just go like that to the throttle to match, depending on what the type of car is, you want to match the revs. So, it's called the heel-toe technique. Now, when you're in a GT car, since your clutch is only used for starts and sometimes launches, depending on the style of GT, but let's just use GT3, you're not using an actual clutch pedal over here. It's on your wheel. Some cars still have one, but you don't need to use it. And to stay faster, since the wheels don't slide out, you can drive like this, where you just don't want to ever hit these two at the same time, ever. You just want to I try to keep this foot up or on it, depending on if I have it set to where I can put pressure, but it won't do anything. And I can gas, lift off, brake, and it'll save you a couple of seconds. Now, if you also drive in real life, you just got to be careful that you don't get used to doing that, because it will fuck you up. We just need point 0.4 and we are golden. One more race. One more, let me rephrase. One more good race and we are golden. I guess we'll race this right here. Move it into the AMG GT4. Keep in mind, the hypercars, like the Liger, by lap 6, those cars will be passing us. You just get out of their way and let them pass because they are anywhere from 12 to 15 seconds faster than a regular GT car. So even though yesterday we had one where it said I placed 11th, but we really placed 3rd. And that's because you're in a different class. It's multiple class racing. And what I'm doing right now is for my Moza active pedals, since I just had it set for an spec car, what I'm doing right now is setting it for a GT4 car. I have it set to all GT4 cars. Right here. And then, you know how a lot of you guys have to climb under your rig to change your settings? I just do it from right here. And with this active pedal, think about belt-driven versus direct drive for a wheel. These pedals, they're 250 kg load cell sensors, and I've always talked about the pedals, but I never show you guys this, so check this out. Hold on. So this is like how you want it to feel, and then you come in here, this will actually be how it's inputted for like the mapping. And then if we come over here, kind of like SimHub, where this controls my butt kickers, seatbelt tensioners, all that kind of shit, displays. Moza made it so, which kind of pisses me off. I wish it was through like SimHub or something. But if you see, like, I have an RPM ramp up, and in my seat and butt kickers, this will go through, won't feel anything, but once the RPMs hit about 60, it'll flutter my ass. That's how it'll work. There's two things for some reason. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. We'll just keep it for ABS. What we'll use it for. And then if we come over to our brake, I have all this I can use, and I can feel my wheels lock up. And the way that works is, here, I'll show you guys how powerful this is. We'll turn it up to 100. And it won't let me push past, like once the wheels start to lock up, the pedal will push back at me. It's pretty sick. When it first came out, it wasn't the best thing ever, but now that they've upgraded it, I would say it's 95% as good as the $3,000 SimCube ones, which are crazy considering these are only $900 each, which is still very expensive. And then your threshold, it'll input at 80, so um, you have them all set on different frequencies so you know what's doing what, like the ABS, the threshold, and the wheel lock up. Like on a GT3 992, you're not going to have ABS, so you're going to keep this off. Let me just jump in here and change one thing, and we'll be good to go. We'll go race. All I ask from you guys, listen. I know a lot of you guys are new. I'm going to give you guys a little story. I'm going to actually put everything down so that way I don't lose my train of thought. My entire life, I was abused. I was called a retard, was told to kill myself. I had an abusive alcoholic for a father. And my mother, she tried her best, but still had issues. Everybody told me I wasn't going to make it. My own mother told me I should go on disability because I have so many issues in life. Anyhow, I was broken. I thought I wasn't going to ever be able to do anything in life. And about 5 years ago, I met my wife. Her name's Kayla. She changed my life. This woman, I feel like I got hit by a car and died because this woman came into my life when I had nothing to offer. I would lie to her about how I was rich and how I'm going to do this, this, and that. And my wife told me, Travis, you don't have to lie to me. I love you for you. I didn't even love me for me at the time. This woman taught me how to love myself. And she is the best person that I ever met. And me and her, we got married. And I got a really freaking good job at a really, really good job, and I make about a little over 6 figures a year. And one thing my wife and I always wanted was to have kids, and at the time we lived in Buffalo, New York, and we got into our car about 3.5 years ago. After we got married, we got into our car, and we drove 30 hours to Fort Worth, Texas, to an apartment that we never even seen before in a part of the world that we were never at. We lived across the street from a mass shooting, and I felt like I wasn't able to defend myself in New York, so I wanted to get out of there. So we came over to Texas, and it has been great, and we wanted to have kids. So her dad passed away a year ago, and on Father's Day, about 6 months, or not 6 months, about 3 months after her dad passed away, we finally found out my wife was pregnant. And that's huge because my wife had to go through surgery and all this other shit to even get pregnant. Her body just didn't work. So it was a miracle. We thought it was a sign from God. On Father's Day, we literally found out we were having a baby. So we go through all this stuff. My wife doesn't work. She's done enough for me. She don't ever have to work again. I take care of all of our bills. And we bought a house. We're completely debt-free. But during that time, we found out we were having a baby. We get into the first trimester, which is like 13 weeks. And she's like, hey, hon, I want to go to the hospital. So I take her to the hospital because she thought she was having some sort of issue. They basically tell her, no, the baby's healthy, everything's fine. The next day, she started bleeding. And I'm like, you should go to the hospital. She's like, they're not going to do anything. They just told me everything was fine yesterday. And I take her and I drop her off. This time I didn't sit with her because I've already taken off a whole bunch of time from work. I didn't want to get in trouble. And we're only 5 minutes from the hospital. I get a phone call that the baby's dead. I drop my computer and go to the hospital, and I walk in, and she's on the bed. She's screaming, and they're holding her arms down. She went into septic shock and almost died. And I'm watching this woman that has changed my life. And I'm asking myself, God, why are you going to take this all away from me? And I was losing it, and just the most scared I've ever been in my life because without her, I feel like nothing. But she made it through it. It was a really scary time, and a big reason for starting this channel was her. And it's for the people that have felt hopeless before and, felt like you're never going to accomplish anything. It's to show you guys that if I can do it, you guys can do it. And I know that's hard and very personal, and we're both okay with sharing that. I started this channel because I watched how fast life can be taken. And if I were to die today, what would I have accomplished? What would I have done with my life? So I know I've talked about it a little bit on the stream before, and brought it up a few times, but I just wanted to give you guys an in-depth story of where all this is coming from and why we're doing it. And, where I come from. I'm somebody that couldn't hold a job until I met my wife. I literally had like 35 jobs. I had a problem with drugs and alcohol, and I had a problem with compulsive lying, and was just like an abusive relationship after abusive relationship. And I like to put it like this. I didn't start my life until I turned 21, and everything changed for me. Everything. And now I'm at a position in my life where I feel good. And not only do I feel good, but I feel grateful. So all I ask from you guys is just enjoy the content. I don't want you guys to donate anything. I'm not a rich guy at all. I actually struggle financially sometimes, but when it comes to this channel, if you guys want to do anything to support me, just share it, just like, comment, subscribe. That's it. That's all I want you guys to do. Let's hit it. We are in the Mercedes AMG GT4. Oh, here. I'll show you guys something cool, too, before we start. This is the wheel that I am currently on. It's the Moza GS V2P wheel. And then this is my RS wheel. I no longer have the KS wheel. We shipped it out yesterday, and I no longer have a KS wheel. The only wheel that we have, and I'm waiting to make a video with it till Manny can edit it, is I bought a $1,400 Lamborghini wheel that has a screen on it from Moza, and then, damn it, that's why we don't talk and do, god damn it. We still had, oh no we didn't. I think we're good. Why? Oh my gosh, dude. There we go. Hopefully we still got a chance to qualify. No, we probably don't. But I talked about it a little bit yesterday, and now that we have a company that wants me to do some product reviews, we'll do an unboxing here in the future that I'm not going to have to pay for. And another thing is, for you new people, I talk about it all the time. If there's one company you can't go wrong with, it's Moza. Absolutely love them. Alright, well, we're just going to quit qualifying. I cannot talk and drive at the same time. Something just feels off. Let's get this fixed real quick. Hold on. Something feels way off. That would probably be why. I'll show y'all the wheel that I bought. Showed it a little bit yesterday. This is one that we'll be giving away at some point on the channel. But this is the wheel that I bought for myself. This is what I'm going to be using on my stream at all times. And just so everybody here is aware, you don't ever need to buy something like this. It is a complete waste of money, 10,000%, unless you are rich or everything on your rig is upgraded to the max. It is the most useless thing. It is literally like buying a gold chain. It is just a flex. That is all this is. Because if you want a wheel with a screen on it, check this out. That wheel's $1,400, keep in mind. This is $320. I don't like this wheel because of the grips, but you cannot deny that Moza is on top of the sim marketing world right now with their pricing and everything else. Another wheel that I like a lot is this right here. This is probably my favorite wheel next to the KS wheel. I always tell people this: if you have a Sim Magic rig, buy this. If you have a Moza rig, buy the KS wheel. I still prefer the OG KS wheel compared to the KS Pro because I just don't really care for having a screen. Some people really like that kind of stuff, but me personally, the only reason I went with the Lambo wheel, and keep in mind too, if that Lamborghini wheel was the same thing without the Lambo logo, it would probably only be an $800 wheel. Like that's just how sim racing is. It is so stupid that licensed products do that. It's like Apple. But I get it. The only reason I bought that wheel is I had a wheel from Moza that I would not recommend to anybody. It is called the Moza Vision wheel, and it has a screen that's shaped like a circle, and it turns with the wheel. But the problem is, it's super delayed. Like, I'm talking about 5 to 10 second delay on this thing, and it's just extremely noticeable, and I hated it. So, for any of you people out there looking for a good wheel, the Moza KS wheel is really good, and the GS V2P is really good. Good luck, everybody. Let's have a good, clean race.
Good luck. This is first split, right? Oh, well, yeah, then technically it is. Maybe the one I only switch.
If you guys go to my stream now, we have a foot cam My boss doesn't like that I call it that, but it's called the foot cam, and it shows my $3,000 pedals. Come look at my feet.
Yeah, but are those feet worth $3,000? Are you barefoot? Are you putting your legs all in that?
Feet for days. I got feet for days.
Good luck, everyone. Yeah, good luck. Have fun.
Martin, I can't hear you because of my overlay, but I love you. I've raced with you before, and if I ever had the chance to leave my wife, I would marry you. I love you, Martin.
Have you had much beer or something? You've had Travis?
Jet 32, John.
It's okay that we're starting from last. We're just here to get our license. That is it.
Jet 50, John. Jet 34, John. Jet
Go, homie. But to share this with you guys, you know, I will say a lot of things in this world I feel like weren't made for me. I don't grasp things very easily. And I've always struggled with things in my life. And the thing I found, I used to play billiards. I used to travel all around the world for billiards, but after getting into a bad car accident, my hand shakes, so it's hard for me to keep the cue still. But I like talking to people, so I got into sales, and that's my calling. I've been at the same job now for about 4 years. And as far as like sim racing goes, in streaming, you know, I'm sure some of you guys probably think I'm annoying. I have an issue talking at times, and why are we already green? Getting my point across, so I just struggle with that. If any of you guys are wondering, like, what the hell is this guy talking about? I really can just lose my train of thought sometimes. I don't mean to. If you're not going LMP, in my opinion, the best car for this map is the BMW. shit, I've never seen that before in a ranked race. Holy shit, look how many cars there are. I'm in 33rd place. Usually when you're racing, you don't go green until you cross this finish line that's right over here. The finish line is all the way up here, past that American flag where that guy is standing up there. Once a car passes that, then you go green. How fucking crazy is that? We were literally a half mile away from the finish line when we went green. That is bonkers, dude. I've seen races with this many people. I've just not in like leagues and stuff. I've seen leagues with like 60 cars. But I've never seen a ranked match with more than 20 people, ever. I didn't even know it was a thing on GT racing. I know for NASCAR it is, but for GT racing, that's just wild, dude. You're a fucking moron, dude. You are a moron. I've never seen you finish a race. Every race I join in, you never finish. You always crash. And then you too in the McLaren, bro, really? Like, you see the fucking double yellow flag and you decide to drive right through. And now we have steering damage, so this should be fun. Hate that shit. Oh, and the reason I call him an idiot is not because he crashed, but it's like, people will fucking crash and then just not brake, not pull over to the side, just fucking hold on the accelerator and fly into the middle of the map. Are you fucking kidding me, you fucking retard? Dude. At least we're at the fucking pits. Jesus Christ. This is the type of shit that happened last time. We got 0.2 decimals away from getting our new license, and then we deal with this shit. Fucking irritating, dude. How long does it save? We'll just back out of this. I gotta find my mic still. Oh, yeah, we're not sitting here for 7 minutes. Hate that shit. Yes, dude, you should absolutely quit McLaren. And then the other fucking guy, like, dude, you guys just ruined this for everybody. It's not a fucking video game. We all pay to play this, and you guys like to act like retards. I hate that. Dude, here's my little rant. The little thing that I'll rant about. We all pay an extreme amount of money to be on here. And the pleasure about iRacing is if somebody turns their car and starts driving backwards, you report them and they'll get kicked off maybe forever, but like if you have somebody causing problems all the time, they'll get banned. Now, my thing is, and this is how it used to be back in the day, iRacing, it feels like they do not care about the players anymore. It feels like they only care about their subscriptions. And the reason I say that is back in the day, iRacing would not tolerate any shit. Like, if you did anything, they would ban you. And nowadays, it's not the same, and they're just focused on getting people to pay for the service. And I've said this since I've started, because if you go to try, like, the biggest reason for, like, new people quitting is they will jump in here to drive, and the rookie lobbies it's impossible. Because other players, you guys have seen me race this on stream, where I jump in here, and in the rookie lobbies, I literally have people that are causing accidents or doing dumb shit. And if you're a rookie, it's like iRacing gives you more leniency, which they should. But I've said this since day one. I wish you had to qualify at a certain number, like, I don't know, let's just say Sebring, the average, like a really good lap time is a 2:15. If you can't go around that track in 2 minutes and 25, or 2 minutes 25 seconds, which would be way above that, without any incidents, you shouldn't be able to race. And I just wish iRacing would add something, and they kind of do with the skill rating, but you guys have seen me race where absolutely there are races that I do where I could prevent it if I just stop, but it's not always that way. Like, it's not always that easy. When you're dealing with so much shit in your mind, it's like, you're gonna crash. Crashing is just a part of racing. And my point there is, there's ways to make it less. You guys seen me go from 33rd to 24th without even passing anybody. And I'm not, and Max, and everybody else here, I'm not even talking about people that break the rules. I'm strictly talking about people that come in here and just don't know how to drive. And iRacing lets them join, like the LMP class. Dude, there are people on iRacing that don't understand the rules. I'll show you right now. Like, here, let's pull up. We'll watch somebody's video here on stream. Hold on. All right.
We've all been there. You're faster than the guy in front of you, it's
Watch
obvious.
this.
Everyone else is pulling away, but you're stuck unable to make the pass, losing time and getting frustrated. What should you do? Well, here are my tips on everything having to do with passing when it comes to ovals, and specifically NASCAR.
Hold on. Let me find a different one. This guy. This guy talks about it really well. I love this guy. He got me into sim racing. Jimmy Brabant. Alright. So,
Alpha Tauri should return
just to show you guys this.
It's a tricky one. You'd think this would be a a penalty maybe for the Williams, but the Mercedes could have also given more room. He would have known the Williams was there. But was that pass really on? I'm going to say does hit.
Alright, let's use this for an example, and I'll just talk about it. Look at this green car. If this green car is going faster than the red car, he has to move over and pass. He can't just drive through you. In iRacing, people expect you, if you're going faster, to just pull over and let them pass. The thing is, when it comes to racing, you are entitled to your line. Your line is your line. You don't have to give the line up. You don't have to give the space. But now, when it comes to iRacing, you have people, and that's what I was talking about with like the qualifying thing. You have people that'll qualify and then immediately try to jump the start, and the same shit happens in real life. And it's like, instead of trying to become a better driver or the best driver, they role play. That's all they're doing is role playing. They're not here to become better. They're here to role play. And if you try to pass them, they will take you out. They will cause issues. And everybody should go into iRacing, well, I'm going to drive as safe as I possibly can. And I treat the sim better than I do real life. And the reason is, I don't give a fuck about winning. I've won on stream a bunch. And the way I do it is by being safe. And it's just like, I cannot stand people. We'll just take a look at some of these.
Years and years of multi-class racing on iRacing, and even some in real life, move at the last second then slow down, and that usually causes a lot of crashes. So stay on your line, be predictable, and there shouldn't be any incidents. What the hell was this? On you didn't need, the car didn't need to be there. You didn't need to swipe across, and for some reason you did. So I would give that a slap on the wrist. Well, I'd give you.
Here, I'll show you guys. And And the other thing that's the problem with... Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You can control yourself and can't really focus on what other people do. I wish there was a system for the double yellows. Like when that guy spun out behind me, in front of me, and I hit him. The only reason I didn't come to a complete stop is, as you guys noticed, I had that McLaren just slam into me, and we would have been in the pits there if I didn't hit. So, the problem with you gotta be able to avoid these crashes, and that's why we're getting the license up. Hopefully, we get there today. If we could have just had a good race, we would have gotten there. But you're gonna have crashes in everything. I just wish iRacing did something to limit it for newer players, not even myself. Because here's the funny thing. That wasn't even a terrible race. You guys have seen me on stream where we're racing online and the entire track goes off the first lap in rookie. I've showed you guys that before. The entire track went off. I started from last and we finished first. And it was a rookie race I just did for the hell of it. And shit like that happens all the time. And it's like, if you can barely drive... Here, I'll show you guys something cool. Show you guys my skills. So I always keep that reference line on. I'll shut it off and run a clean lap for y'all. But if you're struggling, if you are struggling, this goes for anybody on my stream, and great advice that I was given when I first started iRacing. The race is not the place to practice. If you cannot put up solid, safe lap times and finish a lap without an incident, then you have no business racing. Because the only thing that's going to make you better is practice. And if you're joining in every single race and you're crashing, then you're never going to ever get better, ever. Oh, I got some news for you guys. I got my license today. I work remotely, so I let my license expire like 5 years ago after a really bad car accident that I was involved in. I didn't cause it. It just scared me from driving and gave me like PTSD from driving because it was really bad. I got hit head on doing like 70 miles per hour. And I just quit driving, and my wife drives. And since she don't work and I work remote, we own a Prius. And I love my Prius. I don't care what anybody says. Even if it does a 15-minute Nuremberg lap, it only takes me 17 minutes to, or $17 to fill up my whole tank of gas, and it'll last me 3 months. And because I live in Texas, when I bought this car, I work with car dealers, and I got this car for literally $7,000. And it only had 60,000 miles on it when we bought it. Beautiful Prius. And I love this car so much. But I needed to get my license to race cars because I'll be racing in real life. And I needed to get a race license as well. And I'll be going to race school. But I got my license today. That's why I didn't start streaming till now. Alright guys, what we're trying to do is put up a 215. So we'll come through here. I'll show you what I like to do. I like to come through this slow and then slam on my gas, take this turn, and then we full throttle. We're going to try to avoid as much water as possible because this car is so low to the ground that your tranny will start slipping. need to sit more comfortable. There we go. But yeah, this morning I went and I got my license, and I shipped out that KS wheel. If you notice, I'm driving a faster, much faster line than what that line showed, and that's because that line is not the fastest, the most optimal part of the track. That's not what that does. It's just a reference line. That line would tell me to brake right there, and I shouldn't start braking until like right here. And then another thing, that line will tell me to brake near these cones. You could take this flat out. You don't need to brake at all. And that's the big reason we win a lot of these, is I know all the track. I think the last 3 Rainmasters I've done, I think we've gotten a win every single day. The best one was the guy on stream that was like, I'll give you $100 if you win. And I was in first place all the way up until the end. And where it goes to this bend, I called my wife in here. I'm like, Kayla, I'm gonna win. And I spun out right here and hit the wall. And I acted like I did it on purpose because I don't need your charity. Just kidding, 1,000%. How slow are we? 220. That ain't terrible, but let's hit it 215. I think Max Verstappen will quit F1 and do GT cars full time, which I hope, because he's brought a new, like, you know how we get all the F1 video games? He's brought in a whole new popularity to GT cars, and I love it. The funny thing is, about 8 months ago, that guy's so crazy, he travels with his sim rig in his private jet everywhere that he goes. And he races every single day. And he just has like an insane love for the sport. And I did a race about 6 or 8 months ago where it was an event with a whole bunch of people, and he was a part of it, and we were racing Miatas. It's like, bro, a guy that is paid millions of dollars a year, millions, is doing a race with GT cars, or Miatas, in his free time. Hey, if any of you guys are interested, we're giving away a $4,000 PC on May 1st. We're going from a $25,000 racing simulator to a real GT car. I'll put the link in the chat, but I can't hear you guys because of the overlay. So I will put the channel link in the chat if you guys want to check it out. It's completely free. I'm live every day. There we go, that wasn't too bad. 218. Right here we're losing all of our time. We'll try it. That was terrible. That's why you don't go inside in the rain. One thing I learned from Max that I really like, and this might give you guys a little perception, is taking the inside is just an illusion. The outside is always faster. And I 100% agree with him. Because you're able to use all the track if you take the outside. The only reason I'm taking the inside right now is the whole track on the left side, there's like 2 feet of water. So we don't want to hit that. But for any of y'all out there that are on iRacing, or just want to get better at sim racing in general, like Assetto Corsa, this is a great way to do it. Just jumping in to do it through test drive on your side, or like your own match, but jump in and drive without a line. And in this day and age, you could find YouTube videos, everything. We're just gonna stop. You could find YouTube videos, everything that you need, and all the fastest stuff online. For me, I'll tell you guys this. If you guys are not familiar with iRacing, I have no real racing experience in real life. I have no real racing experience, and as far as like real life goes, I have done like karting and stuff like that, not just regular go-karts, but real karting. And when I first got into sim racing, I showed this yesterday on the stream. If those of you out there that don't have a sim racing rig, this is what you should get, because this is what I started off with, and you can find them very cheap online. This is one of the best things that you can buy, in my opinion, for a beginner. There's not a better beginner set out there. I love this setup, but your pedals are the most important. But back to what I was saying about driving, is I played games like, here, I'll just show you guys my Steam library, and then I'll show you some other cool stuff. Hold on. Come on, you fucking asshole, why aren't we opening? I used to play, I don't know why Steam isn't opening, but I used to play games like, there we go. Hold on. It's already 5 o'clock. What's the time go? Here we go. I used to play games like Truck Simulator, Assetto Corsa. I just started playing Assetto Corsa Rally, which I'll have to show on stream because that game is literally, it is such a cool rally game. We played a ton of Dirt and Forza, and I thought I was good at sim racing. And then I got iRacing and even BeamNG. And what I noticed is those games all have like assists on, and unless you shut them off, they're there. And if you're newer, you won't even notice them. But I came over to iRacing, and iRacing doesn't have that. You could have them like auto clutch, your racing line, that kind of stuff. But other than that, there's nothing that like stabilizes the car for you or anything. So iRacing, to me, is harder in certain aspects to learn than driving a real car, because in real life you experience the G-force. And for people that don't have thousands of dollars to spend, looking at a screen and racing is very, very challenging. It is challenging. And if you've never done it before, it's going to take a lot of time to learn it. And for somebody like me, I started in VR, loved it, but here's the problem. when you race in VR, you spend more time tweaking with your settings and fucking around with stuff than you do actually racing. And not to say that nobody ever has problems with VR, but me in particular, I had constant issues with VR, and no matter what I did, one little lag or like buffer can ruin your entire race because your eyes are what you see. But the reason I don't recommend VR anymore is the depth perception is so good, you become reliant on it, and if you try to go back to a screen, it's damn near impossible. I will say I do think it's the future, and I've had people argue this with me, oh, VR is perfect. There's nothing wrong with VR. There is. VR has a ton of issues, especially if you're going to race online and try. There's a reason why not one professional uses it. Not one. They all switch over to screens, and the reason being is when you switch over to screens, I'll tell you guys what I did. When I first started, but when I first switched to screens, I was going to go with the triple setup. And then I was like, I don't really want to spend the headache of doing triples. So I bought a 49-inch ultra-wide monitor, and I could not get used to it. I just kept using VR. And even after I got used to it, I still had some issues. So what I did, and I recommend this to anybody out there on a screen, even though I didn't like it, is there's this thing called Track IR, and it's a no-latency IR tracker, infrared. And there's a camera that goes on your monitor, and then a clip that goes on